Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's the last webinar in the series where we are looking under the hood at one of the most interesting of all syllabi that Trinity has to offer, which is the performance arts. In our earlier webinars, we looked at grades initial to 3, and then in the last webinar, we looked at 4 and 5. And today, of course, we're looking at grades 6, 7, and 8. I want to thank you at the outset for the entire support that you've extended to us in terms of feedback and in terms of thoughts. And needless to say, as we plan ahead for the new year, we've got a couple of exciting things that we would like to do, which I will talk to you a little bit about at the end. But for now, it's time to look under the hood all over again, and this time at some very serious grades. And to lead us through this next 45 minutes or so, I want to welcome my colleague Vaishali. Good afternoon, Vaishali. So drama or politics, we all make a grand entry, all right? And in some regard, there is a mask that is common to both, perhaps. Well, to lead us this afternoon, Vaishali is not just the right person, she is the best person. She has an LTCL in performance arts. And as she shared in one of her earlier webinars, she's multifaceted, and hence that was the appeal of the syllabus. And of course, Vaishali is one of the leading educators, as you all know, in this field of drama, and particularly with life skills. And as you can see her doing an instant mime while we talk about her, she brings to the fore every bit of creativity and will sustain yours also for the next 45 minutes. Vaishali, all yours.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you so much. I'll just stop sharing. All right. Thank you. Those who have just joined us, this is Vaishali, and today we are going to talk about the last 3 grades, which are very serious, but extremely fun. Before we start, I would like everybody to say a yes if you were there in the previous 2 webinars that we had conducted, or if you got a chance to watch our YouTube recording of the same. If yes, then please on the in the chat box type yes. All right, great. Thank you. Thank you. You might see me looking that side because I'm working with 2 monitors, so all your chats and questions and everything comes onto that monitor, and here is my camera. So welcome everybody. Welcome to our webinar, and today we're going to talk about performance arts grade 6, 7, and 8. Now, those who have been with us since the first webinar, you know how powerful this syllabus is. It just empowers you to an extent that you can actually develop and even explore and discover new skills that you have. Any skill under the sun that you have, that you can hone, that you would like to develop, can be brought into performance arts examinations. Now, when I say performance arts, it means a combination of various performance skills that can be showcased. We are going to talk about that as well today. What are the different performance skills that can be showcased? What I just did right now when Dale was speaking and I was exactly miming everything that he was saying is something that is called pantomime. Okay, pantomime is something that you can actually perform as a part of your performance skill in grade 6, 7, and 8. So let's go and let's start our presentation. So what we just saw was a little glimpse of how the syllabus empowers. Just to take you through again, the performance arts exam provides candidates with the opportunity to create contemporary theatre that reflects their personality, interests, or culture using performance skills that they already have or to explore new ones. Now, when I pick up a performance skill, I pick it up because it is an extension of my identity. It is an extension of my being, and it's also an extension of my character. In grade 6 and 7 and 8, these are the advanced grades, level 3. And in these grades, the examiner expects the candidates to be in link with their own self and in link with what they are performing for their exam. So we'll come to that. Throughout the presentation, if you get any kind of query, if any question arises in your mind, please put it on the chat box. Dale has shared the syllabus over here. Thank you, Dale, for sharing the syllabus over here. All of you could go to the grades 6, 7, and 8. There are 3 pages which are there, 6 pages. One talks about the syllabus and the other page talks about the attainment descriptors. It's very important that we go through them. So just keep that handy because we are going to talk about that a little soon. All right, so choose your talent, hone it. I've been talking about that. If I am a bathroom singer, I might choose to do a Trinity College London Performance Arts exam and hone my talent as a singer. If I have been joking around, then I might like to take this exam and do a stand-up comedy. So these are the possibilities with performance arts syllabi. In the grade 6, 7, and 8, we can do these performance skills. We can showcase these performance skills. And yes, we have been talking about including Indian culture, Indian dance, Indian music, Indian singing, Indian martial arts. Anything which is culturally rich and is performative can be included in the performance arts syllabi. Now let's look at the specific life skills which this performance arts syllabus empowers you with. Definitely communication and interpersonal skills, definitely shedding of inhibition and being confident in whatever you're speaking. And yes, creativity, of course, because once you are in the advanced level, you're expected to bring in your own creative talent, your own creative thought into the performance. If there is no creative thought in the performance, then it's not a level 3 performance. So as teachers, I know many teachers are watching us today. As teachers, you'll have to pass on the creative baton to your children while preparing them for this particular examination and kind of help them come out with their own ideas, own interpretations, own creativity, and own performance program. Working under pressure and deadlines, that completely depends on the teacher, how systematic you are, how you want to, what kind of skill do you really want to give to your students. If you have a bunch of kids who are completely, they are not organized, they have no sense of time, yes, working under pressure is a good thing for them to do. And you can do that by doing this particular grade or particular exam. Definitely critical thinking skills, because when you push them to think creatively, they think critically as well. And confidence. We've been talking about this. If you can just look at the highlight or the bold letters, bold words, it is designed to focus on developing skills in a variety of forms. And they choose their own performance forms and present candidates with these exams, present candidates with practical and creative tasks. Now, we'll come to practical and creative tasks very soon. What are the creative tasks that can be showcased? Let's move on. As you all know, that performance skill is something that has to be showcased during these exams. And along with the performance skill, contributory skills also need to be showcased. Now, all of us by now know what your performing skill is and what a contributory skill is. But still, I'll ask you this question because, like a good teacher, I'll keep asking you the same question and again, and I want the answers. So, if my performing skill was mask making, mask performance, what would be my contributory skill? Quickly, I gave you the answer, by the way. What would be the contributory skill of a mask performance? Script, acting, mask making. Very good. Thank you. That's good. All right. There was something else that I had done along with my performance. When I was performing, there was something else that was happening in the background. What was it? Music. Thank you. Thank you, Shamida. So yes, so contributory skills are skills that contribute in your performance. Now, if my performance skill was playing piano, my contributory skill could be an original composition. Okay, I could write sheet music, and you're expected to know sheet music by now. And you could share your composition with your examiner and play the piano. If you're doing mask theater, which I really did not do, this was half mask comedy. But mask theater is a very serious, and a very respected, serious form. If you're doing that, then making a mask could be, the contributory skill. And then if we have performance skill as dancing, then makeup, costume, choreography could be the contributory skill. So I think we're pretty clear with that. Let's look at the various performance skills that can be showcased. Today, I'll keep at least 20-25 minutes for our question answers. You can ask me any questions if you want, because the last two sessions we have been only talking for last 10 minutes, answering your questions. But today I'm very happy to answer all your questions. I'll wrap this presentation up quickly, and then we'll go into the question answers. So let's look at performance skills. We have mask work. You could see you have play a musical instrument, then you have performing a song, then you have dance, magic act. You can also do a piece of puppetry, a sequence of stage combat where you can showcase various stage combat skills. Like you could do martial arts, you could do fencing, sword fighting, etc. Then these are the list of contributory skills. You can find them in the syllabus, so don't worry, this list has been picked from the syllabus. So if you just go to the syllabus, all your questions will be answered, but I'm here to help you out today. So demonstration of characters, facial, body, and makeup is a contributory skill. A presentation of stage masks can be an illustration or can be an actual mask. Then presentation of stage puppets. This can be illustrations or actual puppets. So what you could do is for contributory skills, you could actually in these grades bring somebody in and apply makeup on that person to show how you have created your makeup look, make them wear the costume, or you can bring photographs of the different stages of your mask making, different stages of your costume creation, and make a presentation. This presentation has to be in English language only. Till date, we don't have any other alternative right now. But whenever we have an alternate, way to look at presenting, we'll get back to you. But right now, it is in English language. Then definitely a presentation of set or lighting design. You could actually present models of your set. You can also present illustrations of the models of your set and do a presentation of your contributory skills. All right. And last webinar, I had mentioned that we can actually borrow the tasks from the various other syllabi that we have. So we can look at the speech and drama syllabus, grade 8, and pick from there. We can look at the acting syllabus, musical theater syllabus, or the communication skills syllabus, because all of them are performing skills and that we are testing, that we are assessing. So it's very important that you go through all the syllabi if you're planning to prepare your children for the performance arts exam. We'll come to assessment criteria, learning outcomes, and attainment descriptors. But just to let you know that it is a 100-mark exam, and there is a distinction, merit, pass, and below pass. Below pass is below 65 out of 100. Pass is between 65 and 75. Merit is 74. The merit is 75 to 84, and distinction is 85 plus. Now let's look at the exams. Before going to the exams, let me just show you something. All right. So when I was talking about mask, I have a mask over here. I'll do a short performance with this mask. So if I'm doing a contributory skill presentation, so I will carry my mask with me, which I already have, and then I will kind of do a demonstration of how I went about preparing this mask. So I can just turn around, show that this is all paper mache, and we have, done up this entire mask according to my face. And there is a layer of cloth as well, you can see maybe. And we have used acrylic paint to paint this. Now, this is a very basic kind of description that I'm giving you. For a grade 6, 7, and 8, don't think that grade 8 will be more detailed than grade 6. What I do as a teacher is I train my children for grade 6 as I would train my children for grade 8. So I make sure that they are doing their performance preparation as they would do for their grade 8 examination. Now in grade 8 examination, it is important that they have 2 contributory skills to present. And as a teacher, we always know that little extra work is always handy. So I would insist that all teachers who are teaching grade 6 and 7, although there is a requirement of just 1 contributory skill to be presented, if you can prepare your children with 2 contributory skills, they are also safe and they are also relieved that, okay, if one does not work, the other will work. And the presentation can be a PPT presentation. It can also be a chart presentation, or it could be just speaking. It's just talking with your models of the mask. So that is completely up to the teacher and up to the student. Whatever is comfortable with you, you can go ahead and do it. Let's go back to our presentation now. So when we're talking about exams, the structure of the exam is very, very simple. Again, there is the main task 1, which is the performance skill presentation. Now, in this presentation, the candidate needs to showcase 2 or 3 performance skills. I'll tell you which grades requires 2 and which requires 3. So they have to show a continuous program, a continuous in them. Then there is task 2, where you talk about your contributory skill. I hope everybody can hear me. Sorry, there is an internet problem at my end, I guess. Dale, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Just for a quick second though, we lost you, but you're fine right now.
All right, great, thank you. So contributory skill is a mandatory task over here. So in grade 4 and 5, 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 5, we got an option. We had an option with us whether we could, we could either perform another performance skill, or we could, present our contributory skill. But here you have to talk about your contributory skill. And then definitely there's a reflection task, and the reflection task questions, again, I'm telling you, please refer to speech and drama, please refer to acting grades. There you will find what exactly the examiner would want the candidate to know about their work. when they're reflecting. But I'll take you through the syllabus that we have in performance arts as well. All right, so this is grade 6. In grade 6, if you see, it is a 20-minute examination. And the performer is
you'll have to just repeat
there
that.
Are 3.
We lost you again for a couple.
Okay, all right. All right, okay. So in grade 6, it's a 20-minute examination, and the candidate is expected to demonstrate one continuous performance, demonstrating 3 performance skills. Okay, you can refer to the page in your digital syllabus as well. Just take a look at that. Now, if you see, this is a maximum 9 minutes. Maximum 9 means minimum 8 or 7, minimum 7 or 8, and maximum 9. Please stick to the time requirements, because you lose marks if you overstep the time limit. So grade 6, 7, and 8, again, let me tell you, these are advanced grades. We have to be a little bit more careful with these grades. Now, if you see, we have a contributory skill over here, and the candidate gives a demonstration of one contributory performance skill only. So just one, and the maximum time to talk about it is 6 minutes. If you look at the notes, here the notes say that where appropriate, another person can be used for demonstration purposes. Example, to model a costume or makeup application. Okay. Now, if you look at the notes over here for task 1, this is similar to grade 5, where the character, mood, theme, or narrative should be clear in the performance. So that means there has to be either a theme, okay? And if I give you my personal opinion, a theme always works. So you pick up a theme, you create your performance based on that theme, and you present it. And the moment you have a theme, there definitely is a narrative that comes in. Okay. So as a teacher, if you're training your students, I would, do it this way. I would first give them a theme to come up with a story, and then we'll see, depending on what the skills they have, to create a performance on that theme with that story. If I'm clear, please say yes. If you want more clarity on this, please ask your question. Next, let's look at grade 7. Now, this is a 23-minute examination. It's not a 20-minute examination. It's 3 minutes more. Now, where do we have those 3 minutes extra? The first is over here, 10 minutes. The performance time increases by a minute, which is a lot of time when you are actually dancing, singing, doing lots of stuff together. Again, 3 performance skills over here. Okay. And over here, again, 1 contributory skill. Now, if you see in the notes over here, there's an additional thing that you could do, and it's very, very good. In one section of the performance, which is a maximum of 4 minutes, another performer may be included. But if you are a teacher, you cannot be the other performer. It has to be somebody else. It cannot be the teacher. So, but there is a possibility for bringing in another actor or another performer to perform one of the performances in this performance sequence. And let's go to grade 8 now. In grade 8, the candidate gives a continuous performance again sequence demonstrating 3 performance skills. The maximum amount of time is 10 minutes. Contributory skill, 2 contributory skill demonstrations need to be given over here. So if I am doing the same mask thing, what are the 2 contributory skills that I can present? I can present with the script I can also present with the music piece, the music composition. I could compose the music myself instead of borrowing it from Mozart. And I could also talk about making of this mask, which is nothing, but it is interesting, and I could show different other masks. I can bring them with me, which I've created using different kinds of eyebrow designs. So, so contributory skill becomes two over here. So make sure that when your children are performing or practicing, they should know that they'll have to contribute originally in two ways into the performance. Now let's look at the reflection tasks. Let me go back to grade 6 now, and let's look at the reflection task. If you look at the reflection task, the candidate engages in a discussion with the examiner about the work, the skills presented, its preparation, the specific challenges involved with the skills used, and the use of safe rehearsal and performance practices. If you go on to page number 93, there is a lot of help given there already. But this is very, very personal. And here is the actual work that the teacher needs to do. Why are you choosing what you're choosing? It's a very important question that in this stage, every teacher must ask the student. And if the teacher is working along with the student to create the performance, the teacher is also ideating. The teacher and the student both need to sit and think why they are doing what they are doing. How does it enhance or adds on to the quality of performance, quality of thought, quality of life of the candidate? The reason we go into deep thought in this stage is because the challenges could be physical challenges that you face, or it could be psychological challenges. For instance, my challenge could be that if I have an eyebrow which is like this, what are the different emotions that I can play? Does this restrict my emotions? So restriction is a very vague, abstract challenge. So the child should be mature enough to talk about restrictions, should be able to talk about abstract ideas. So here the teacher will have to be really open and handhold the child into understanding their weaknesses and their strengths. Because from here on, it gets extremely personal, and examiners actually look for personal involvement in the performance. If you look at the reflection of grade 7, you see the candidate engages in a discussion with the examiner about the work again, the skills presented, their preparation, personal interpretation, and alternative approaches. Okay. Now, what is alternative approach? If I had to tell you the story, this wasn't a story, but if I have to tell you a story, and I perform it through physical theater and song and dance, okay? I use these three skills to present. Now, the question to you is, what could be my alternate approach to tell you the same story? The story could be the very famous fairy tale Cinderella. Now, instead of using these three skills, what could be my other approach to present it? So, as a me one way of looking at it. The second way of looking, hello?
Sorry, Vaishali, but again, we had you on freeze.
Yeah. Am I clear now?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, all right. Yes, thank you, Sean, for letting us know. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about what could be the alternate approaches to tell the same story. Now here the entire focus comes on the narrative, okay, on the theme, on the characters. So if I'm doing the the age-old Cinderella story in that format, what could be the alternate approach? Could I change the ending of the story? That could be an approach. Maybe I could have used mask instead of physical theater. That could be an approach. So the student should be able to have a discourse with the examiner on the various alternate approaches to the same story. I wouldn't say the same performance, but the same story. So here we expect, the Trinity examiners expect that the candidate is very, very in sync with whatever his choices are, and that he understands or she understands why the story has to be set and how can this be set, and what are the various possible ways that this story can be set. All right. Now let's look at, let's go back and look at the grade 8 discussion. This is my favorite discussion. I remember when I had done a grade 8 exam, the discussion went on for 15 minutes. We had overstepped. In fact, the discussion went so well that the exam was over and we still continued talking about it, which is not something that is done usually, but it is very interesting. It's a very interesting task, the reflection task, especially for a grade 8. And the enthusiasm of the candidate is must over here. If the candidate is tensed, is thinking about whether I'll be right in answering this or wrong in answering that, that will not work in the favor of the candidate. The candidate has to be extremely open to in expressing her views, her ideas, and having a discussion with the examiner rather than answering questions. So let me just tell you, over here it's similar, but the task is 6 minutes over here. The speaking task, the reflection speaking task, is 6 minutes instead of 5 minutes. So the same thing, but 1 minute more, which means that the depth needs to be a little bit more than what you need for grade 7. But ideally, if you can train your students, keeping in mind the grade 8 syllabus for all the other grades, grade 6 and 7, then I think the child or the candidate will be ready for a grade 8 very soon, and he'll be or she'll be into this whole idea of connecting with the text, connecting with the story, connecting with the program that he or she is presenting. Again, here we have to be very specific with our character, mood, theme, and narrative. As I told you, choosing a theme or a narrative to begin with your program is the best way to go about it. The moods can change as you perform your piece, because it's a continuous performance. These 3 skills can be merged into the performance. So that could happen, but the mood can change. The characters also can change. It depends on what you want to create. Again, let me come back to this point that when you're teaching your children, when you're training your children for this examination, treat yourself as a facilitator, as a director. You have to look at it like a director. And you have to give them that idea that, yes, this is a story that you're presenting, and these are the skills that you have to showcase. Now you do a permutation combination and show me how you want to present it. And when you do that, make sure that you tell them that it should have a theme, it should have a story, it should have 2 different contrasting or 3 different contrasting modes, and a character. So once you do that, it becomes very easy for the students to come up with a new, a story, come up with a new performance. Now, let us look at the techniques that we were talking about. When you talk about in the reflection task, when the examiner is going to ask you about what the techniques that you learned or what is it that you used while you were preparing for it? What was your rehearsal process? Now, in grade 6, 7, and 8, children must know about these at least. And you can go back to your speech and drama syllabus, and that actually mentions exactly what the child should know with regard to speech in each grade. So they should know everything that any child should know in speech and drama till grade 5. So till grade 5, we usually train our children in pitch, tone, stress, pause, inflection, intonation, then emphasis, pause, different kinds of pauses, etc. So your children should know about these things. Then this is something which I would like to talk about. Our styles of performance are techniques that go beyond just speech techniques. So those who are dancers over here, you must be aware of these names: Laban, Pina Bausch, Martha Graham. These are practitioners and who have developed their own vocabulary of practices. There are many others also. Anne Bogart is there with her viewpoints system. So it is ideal that you teach your children a particular system over here. Now you can look at Natya Shastra also over here. In my LTCL, I had talked about Natya Shastra, about the technique that I used was the Navras technique. And I had spoken about Natya Shastra. We can also talk about Kalari Paitu, because there's a lot of animal work in Kalari Paitu, so you can talk about that. Then these practitioners, the theatre practitioners who kind of revolutionized acting. I have just written 3 of them: Stanislavski, Grotowski, and Chekhov. So the children should know these methods. They should know the magic if by Stanislavski. They should know the physical aspects, which is seen in Grotowski. They should know how breath and energy works when they're doing Chekhov technique. Then the different kind of theaters they also should be aware of. When I talk about theater, there is epic theater by Brecht. Then there's theater of the oppressed, which is by Augusto Boal from Brazil, who was also inspired by Brecht. And then there's corporeal mime, which is mime, which is not pantomime, which I was doing earlier. Corporeal mime is telling a story through movement. It is not just translating a word into an action. That's pantomime. But corporeal mime is the drama happens within you. So those who are practitioners, those who have an idea of what these things are, you can look them up and refresh your memory, and maybe then take your children through the various techniques. Because at grade 8, definitely these are things that they should be aware of, they should know. And that will, if they know them, then that will definitely reflect in their performance standards. For instance, a continuous presentation could be corporeal mime, play extract, and a dance. So it could begin with a mime, we could go into a play extract, and then we could come back into a dance performance. Yeah. Hello? I heard something. Can everybody hear me? All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Now, this is very important. Generally, I, as a teacher, am not worried about distinction, merit, and pass. This is a very personal thing, nothing to do with other teachers. But for grade 8, I look at this because this is very important for a teacher to look at. Now, if you look at this, the work presented, this is a grade 8 attainment descriptor, and I use grade 8 for all my 3 grades. So I'll just share my practice with you over here. So the work presented a complete synthesis of wide-ranging and integrated performance skills used accurately and creatively to convey character, mood, theme, or narrative throughout. That means sustaining the character, sustaining the theme, sustaining the narrative. No drops happening in between the performance pieces. This is something that all of us need to, need to understand and need to follow. There were clear and creative choices of interpretation, an imaginative and authentic connection to the material, and a total sense of ownership. That means no fumbles, no unnecessary pregnant pauses or blank pauses, and also no hesitation in starting and finishing the performance. So if you look at the last sentence, this is the program demonstrated a high level of personal investment. Again, I'm coming back to it again and again and again and again. Personal involvement is very, very important. And that's the reason I think the teachers have to put in a little extra work and figure out why they would like their children to do this performance and why their children would like to do whatever they're doing. That's about it.